Hello everyone, I want to give a huge shout out to Simmons, the owner of Hard Night Good Morning, and Momma D. Simmons, the creator of the amazing supplement Green Miracle. So if you guys want to know how my entire time at the Highlights event went when I got to meet Simmons and I got to do an amazing class on wigs and extensions, continue watching this video and find out. Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous week. So recently I went to the New Jersey Highlights Expo, and if you don't know what that is, the Highlights Expo is an event that celebrates the awesome industry of beauty, so hair, skincare, makeup, nails, all that stuff. And it's an event for professionals and non-professionals alike. It was an entire day of just dedicated to education classes, vendors, food. Food was provided all throughout the day and free coffee. And we also got these amazing, you can take as many as you like. That was a cool part of the event. Vide vodka seltzer, and this is cranberry, so it's kind of like the Crab Claw but a different version. 5% alcohol by volume. Vodka, carbonated water, and a natural cranberry flavor. 0 sugar, carbs, and only 99 calories. It's gluten-free, 6 times distilled vodka and carbonated water. I thought it was really cool because it's a pretty cool product and it is absolutely delicious. So this was served to us at the end. Very refreshing. We were not allowed to drink it in the room for some reason. I don't know why, but we can take as many as we want at home, and they had like cookies too, so it was an incredibly fulfilling event. You did not have to bring your lunch. I probably ate way more food than I needed to. So that was the awesome part of the event too, was the food, but also the vendors had a lot of discounts. They had giveaways. They were giving away whole baskets if you entered a raffle, and because it was a smaller, tighter knit group of people, you had a greater chance of winning. So in that respect, it was amazing. The education was amazing. Something funny that happened during this event was I ran into one of the professionals that I love in my hair industry, and that's Karg. Karg is an amazing brand of shears for dry cutting, hair cutting, wig cutting, and extension cutting. So when you're working with wigs and extensions, the method of cutting them is a lot different because you need to take into account if I mess up with the wig or the extensions, it's not going to grow out like hair, it's going to stick out like sore thumb. So you got to learn how to go in there and blend them. I took the class that Karg offered on wig cutting, and I learned so much about wig cutting and extension cutting. I learned a lot about Jewish culture. I didn't know that there was actually, well, I knew a little bit, I didn't know the actual details of it, that the Orthodox Jews, they tend to wear the, I don't want to mispronounce this, so I'm not even going to try, but there's a way to describe the wig. There's a term for it in Yiddish. So or Hebrew, I mean, the wig that is sacred, and it has a meaning to it. So in their culture, you'll go into the salon and get your wig styled, you'll get your wig done, custom colored, custom designed. There were so many important points of wigs that were talked about, and it was interesting because all the women that were in the room were wearing wigs, and one of them, I kept saying, oh, her hair looks amazing. The bangs are really cool, the color was impeccable. She custom designs her own wigs, and mind you, she is not a cosmetologist, but she knows enough through classes, continuing education, and the culture to know how to design the wigs. And she brought up a lot of good points on when you're buying human hair, you want to get it without the protein coat so it doesn't wear out. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. I had my notepad and I was like jotting down a whole bunch of notes she was telling me because I was going to go back to teach my adult cosmetology class. I was subbing in for them. I wanted to go in and give them all the information they needed to know about wig care, extension care, stuff that will really help them for the future and also help them be culturally competent in the field. So Karg was there, and he was really cool. And no, was his name Karg? No, it was Russell. Oh my gosh. Did I just call him the brand name? It's been a long day. But Russell was there. He was so funny, so hilarious. And it was funny because I knew he looked familiar. I go to the Energizing Summit in California every year, and he has a class there, and the company has a class there, so I knew him from there. And I'm like, oh, now that's where I know you from. The other highlight of the event too, oh, before I talk about that, the one lady I was talking to who had the amazing looking hair, I did not know it was a wig until someone came up to her and she goes, oh, I like your wig. And she goes, oh, I like your wig too. And I'm like, did you just say I like your wig? And I'm like, wait, that's not a wig. But yeah, it was a wig. She knew how to style it. She colored it by herself using Redken products. It was really cool. So we were trading back information back and forth of what we like to use. She swears by using Redken Bond Insider Lightener to lighten the hair pieces and wigs. And I thought that was amazing. So that was also a huge highlight of the event, no pun intended. The other big highlight of the Highlights Expo was meeting Simmons. And if you don't know who Simmons is, please look her up and her company up. I swear by her products. So Deandra Simmons is a housewife of Dallas from the Real Housewives of Dallas. She came on season 2, and she is still, to my knowledge, going to be on the season. They're finishing season 4 up. She started her own serum, the L22 Elixir. It's a specialized serum for the skin that has snow algae in it. And what snow algae is, it's this little organism that lives in this giant piece of ice in the Himalayas in Tibet. And what snow algae does is it has different properties, like a firming property, anti-aging property, and it's a very nourishing ingredient to the skin, so you can use it for sensitive skin. Her overall skincare line is aloe based, so you can use it on sensitive skin that is rosacea, has rosacea flare-ups, because rosacea comes a lot of sensitivities to other products. I use it after my chemical peels, and I honestly think that my skin heals a lot quicker and it looks a lot better after using it. The other thing with her company is that she has another company that is added on to her own. They're merging them. The Green Miracle, which is the original product that started out the entire company. So when the company became known for, before it was skincare, it was supplements. And her mom, Momma D, look her up, started that company. And Momma D's story was incredible. So Momma D had unfortunately suffered from breast cancer back in the 70s. And in the 1970s, we did not have this knowledge on nutrition or healthy living in general like we do now. There was still the traditional ways, but there wasn't this mass sharing of information through social media like there is today. So Momma D was smart enough to do her own research. Now, she's a very powerful woman, by the way. She is very well educated. She is a female entrepreneur. She started this whole company up from scratch, all with the intention of helping other people heal using nutrition. So she healed herself with this product, and she's been spreading the word about it. Now, Green Miracle is an incredible product. I'm going to be doing a whole different review on it separately. I'd ordered a giant gallon of it, but I tried some samples, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's a great product just to get all your nutrients in, because a lot of us are short on all those foods that we need. So when we start taking the supplement, we're able to compensate if we don't, get our daily value of our vitamins and minerals and our greens. So Momma D had this company for a while, and then she just turned it over to Deandra Simmons, and Deandra is finally writing her own chapter. And I know that sounds interesting because when a lot of people hear of a celebrity coming out with something, they always try to scrutinize it. Well, I can tell you this. When I met Deandra Simmons, she was so down to earth and so personal. She was not like one of those celebrities that you'd have the stereotype of that is stuck up and snooty. That is not who Deandra is. Deandra was nice enough to sit down. We had a little snack together. She sat with all of us and we watched a whole makeup demo by James Vincent, who is the makeup artist for L'Oreal. He's done work at Redken. He's done a lot of work. He's also down to earth, and he's all about writing your own chapter. And that's what I liked about this. It was very empowering, this whole event. And I believe that the proceeds went to a charity, and if I'm not mistaken, it went to a women's shelter. So also domestic violence education on prevention. So the money went to a great cause. The tickets were not expensive at all. It was very affordable. We got these amazing gift bags. Deandra's company, Hard Night Good Morning, was discounted, so I got a whole bunch of skincare that I'll be reviewing in a later video. And it was just incredible getting to talk to Deandra, getting to trade off different tips and tricks to skincare, hair care. And that's something you always got to remember, is that celebrities are people too. I know that everyone does these fancy videos, meeting celebrities and, all the photos and whatnot. And that's not what I do. I'm actually very real, and I think that it was really nice to see that, there are celebrities such as Deandra Simmons that are real. Momma D is also very real. So when you message Momma D on Instagram, you're actually messaging her. You're not messaging some kind of robot. And that's what I really thought was incredible. So we were actually talking about like different brands of extensions. I told Deandra my favorite products, Lanza, Redken. Told her a little bit about my hair color tips. And it was really nice just to have a casual chat, and she spoke about starting her own business, and it was incredible because one of the questions I had was, how do you go about starting your own business? Like, how did you find out about snow algae? And when she educated us as a group, I was incredibly surprised to learn about how complicated of a process it was starting your own business. I mean, she was going on telling us that when you start your own company, it is tricky because you got to figure out, how am I going to set up my brand? When you're working with wellness actives, you have to take into account that wellness actives don't always smell good. They might have a stereotypical earthy smell, and then smell is very important for clients. They want products that smell good. They don't want products that smell like, earthy. So she did, I think, it was definitely more than one. I think it was almost 20 or so trials of creating the elixir to get it to smell the correct smell, to still do what it's supposed to do, but also not compromise the naturalness of the product. So that was incredible hearing her story about how she did this and how she was able to take the company. Now, her mom gave her the company, and it wasn't like, thankfully the company is, you know, fine and all that, but the company could have been doing better. And that's Deandra's drive, is that she wants to take the company to the next level. She's thinking, what's next? When Momma D did it, you know, they were doing televised TV advertising. Deandra was able to take that and put it in the social media aspect of it, and, you know, bring more of the modernized appeal to the younger generation. As well as keeping up with the original clients. So the products are all the same. She added in the elixir, and that was pretty cool hearing about how you can start your own business. We also had different speakers throughout the day. One of them, Diamond Beauty, I met Danielle through Diamond Beauty, and she does her own cosmetic company. She was a business owner. She had suffered a stroke, and she was able to overcome that and start her own company and still be successful. And I thought her story was so empowering as well. And it was a very empowering message throughout the whole day for women, as well as for business owners and for people that potentially want to create their own business in the beauty industry, because it is a very saturated market. And if you know how to market your products right, you can succeed. I did also invest in a pair of the specialized shears from Karg. I needed to invest in a better pair of thinning shears, so I'm really glad I did that investment. With the tickets, I got 3 bath bombs from Queen V. I got a sample of actually I'd purchased this from Diamond Beauty. It's the glow liquid, so when I'm working on photo shoots and clients, I can use that. I got samples from Hard Night Good Morning in addition to buying my own. And a whole bunch of pamphlets, promotional events, restaurants that are around Jersey, invitations, a lot of good stuff. And a magazine and this is Bella magazine. It's like a fashion and makeup magazine. So I thought it was pretty cool that they included all of this for a decent price, and I think I paid only like 40 something for this, and an awesome bracelet. So it really was worth the money. I enjoyed every minute of it. I actually came after work. I almost took the whole day off, but I figured, you know what, I'll go to work. I hiked all the way up to Edison, and I just made it in time. I learned a lot about how to style with extensions and wigs. The morning class is about how to add in the hair pieces. And then I did a makeup class because I am new to makeup. I've never really done makeup, and I do work with makeup artists who I absolutely adore and I love. The one thing I will tell you is that when you are on set, the most stressful thing is, you know, life happens, and if I'm not bringing my makeup artist, I have to rely on a different one. And if the makeup artist I'm relying on does not make it, then we are, in not so many words, SOL, and we got to figure out something else. So recently I was actually put in that position when I was on set working with a male model. He had used a product, had a horrible breakout right there, and I was like, oh, you know, what do I do now? And thankfully I had my own little kit with me, and I used Strix, the CC and BB, no, it was a CC cream. It was like a cover-up concealer, so I used the concealer tool and the cream to kind of blend everything, and thankfully, knock on wood, it worked. And the male model was incredibly impressed with the products, how they were designed by men, for men, and I gave him like my whole links to that, so he got to enjoy those products, and if I didn't have them, I would have been screwed, essentially. So I learned in the future that I really have to learn how to do things on my own, because if I, you know, I always try to rely on my friends, but if they can't make it, I gotta, you know, also be able to hold my own. So that was what I loved about this, you know, event, is I got like my first immersion into professional makeup application we had an amazing makeup artist that was there, and then James Vincent was there, so I learned from him and this other makeup artist who was amazing. And then the whole event that I learned from James Vincent, oh my gosh, did I really say James Charles? James Vincent, the makeup artist. By the way, he also he knew Kevin Aquan, he was friends with him. His story is hilarious, of how he became a makeup artist. His method of makeup, and it made sense, is you care for the skin, you prep the skin for the makeup, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. He also demystified makeup. He broke it down into simple components. Like, what is makeup? It is, you know, ground up rocks or ground up mud that is pigmented. It comes in a cream, a liquid form, a powder form. There's different ways of applying the makeup. So we learned from him how to apply it professionally, how to use the roller to cool the skin, all these little tips and tricks that are important, and the new trends that are coming forward, like eyebrows and, you know, he was very opinionated on eyebrows, how like, and I agree with him that people are drawing on these huge eyebrows that are taking up like a majority of their face. And he's trying to explain how eyebrows should not be like that. You have to go with the natural face, but you know, to each their own, and everyone has their own view on makeup, and that things that were in the past are making a comeback. Like we're seeing a revival of the 90s and the 80s and hair and makeup. As a hair professional, I'm seeing that with people wanting the perms again. Perms are making a huge comeback. I'm getting a lot of comments in my perm videos. So things like that. So that was really incredible with the whole event, and I also became hooked on Vide, the cranberry seltzer. I got to figure out where to buy more of these because it is so refreshing. I actually prefer it over the White Claw because it's not as bubbly. It goes down a lot smoother. So that is how I spent my entire day. And before I end this, I do want to mention a few tips about wigs and extensions. So doing hair extensions, people will complain about the extensions if you walk through the mall, if you walk through a store that has a lot of perfume or cologne, your hair will smell like that. Well, wigs, because wigs encompass the whole head, if they're human hair wigs, when you go through anywhere that smells stinky, the wig can actually take the odor with it. So if you go into a house that maybe doesn't smell that nice or smells like mothballs, if you go in, and they said the worst was an airplane. If you go on an airplane, your wig will go smelling like the airplane. So that is something to be mindful of. Some people actually pre-prep the wig by just doing a gentle mist of like an essential oil mist. Some of them will put a little bit of hairspray to try to lock the cuticle down. Or what you want to do with the wig is you also want to try to shampoo it with a gentle shampoo if you have to, if the wig does smell that bad, because wigs will absorb any kind of odor. And that was something I never even thought about, but it makes sense because I've had clients complain about their extensions smelling like the perfume department of their department store at the mall when they walk through it. So that was a really cool point that they brought out. Also know that with wigs, there is a limit to how many times you can color them because they'll start to break. So you have to be very careful with that. I always say to people, opt for the lighter shade, darken it with a demi color, and then if you want to change it, use a gentle hair color remover to gently take it out, and then recolor as you need to. So it was a great learning lesson. Also try to buy the wigs that don't have the protein coat. If you guys have any questions about the brands I mentioned, comment down below. The highlights event was completely worth it. It was just such an amazing event. And I hope that in the future I'll be able to go to more of these events. And if you guys are ever there, let me know. I'd love to meet up with you guys. I've had a few of my subscribers meet me in person. I'm just out and about. If you recognize me, say hi. I won't bite. I'm very down to earth. And I'm doing the best I can to answer your questions and Instagram DMs. I know it gets a little hard because I am in grad school and I do work Monday through Friday, so I do the best I can with that. But I'll be seeing you guys soon for some more videos. And if you guys had gone to the highlights event, comment down below and tell me what you thought about the Highlights Expo. So I'll see you guys soon.